Welcome back to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde, Hawaii edition. It's only been 3 days since we arrived in Hawaii after sailing 3,000 miles from Mexico. Feeling rested and refreshed, we're already setting sail again, this time heading 100 miles north to Maui. We had an amazing, if short, stay in Hilo, including a nice jungle walk to a waterfall with our friends from SV Kalia, who had also just sailed from Mexico. But with a good weather window opening for the hop north, it's time to depart for an overnight sail across the often spicy Alenuihaha Channel. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode as we make our way up the Hawaiian Islands towards Honolulu.
Well, this is fantastic sailing, wing on wing, and we're zooming along 6-7 knots with the waves quartering us. Should be a nice sail overnight. We've got full moon coming up tonight. It's gonna be really sweet for having good light. And then we'll be crossing the channel in the wee hours of the morning and then across the other side, probably at first light at this rate.
In addition to a great weather window, we were also motivated to leave by the regulations Hawaii is infamous for. In many places, including Hilo, anchoring is limited to just 3 days before permits and paperwork are required. In Hilo, there's also a fairly steep fee simply to remain anchored beyond that time. Regardless, we were happy to be on our way. With our next ocean crossing to Alaska not far off, we knew our time in Hawaii would be brief. Rather than settling in, we wanted to experience as many places as possible before eventually landing in Honolulu to prepare for the journey ahead.
Well, good morning. It's been a really good sail across the channel. We only have about 13 miles left to go to the anchorage, and so I think we're pretty much in the clear here. I can still see some stronger stuff, but it's been really steady for the most part. I had one little rain shower come through that kind of threw the angle off for a little bit, so we're a little closer to the weather than I would have hoped for, but it's actually been quite comfortable, and the seas are pretty much behind us. I've been pretty much up all night, didn't sleep really, just been a bit bumpy and changeable wind, so I had a hard time trying to fall asleep. There was no point in both of us being awake, so Kat's having a good rest, and once we're anchored, I'll have a good sleep too. I'm really hoping that cheeky little rain shower there is going to stay where it is and not come towards me.
In the channels between the Hawaiian Islands, the trade winds can accelerate to violent speeds, so careful planning and patience is essential when crossing between the islands. To our delight, the winds in the channel stayed reasonable, though it was certainly spicy at times. As daylight broke, we were already closing in on Maui and the welcome shelter it provides.
Another couple miles to a beach, a sandy beach, and easy shore access. There's a sleepy cat. It's the evening now, and we spent the afternoon on the beach. The swell is very powerful here. I guess we learned a little more about swell from the lifeguards, and the longer period stuff has a lot more power to it when it comes into the beach and really stacks up. So right now it's like 14 second or something southerly swell rolling in and just pounding on the beach. But we had a pretty good time coming in on the sup and landing in there, and then just relaxing on solid land. But it's gotten really choppy here. We have southerly swell, we have northwesterly wind chop, and a little bit of even southeasterly wind chop, all converging right in this spot. And a little bits of breeze that are kind of keeping us at times facing one of such forces that are making things a little bumpy. But it's actually surprisingly comfortable on the boat, given how much it looked like it was dancing around from the shore. So we'll just soak in the sunset and have a chill evening. I'm super exhausted because I didn't sleep last night, and I got about a 3-hour nap, so I'm ready to just chill. So that's about all I got. Coming up to Molokai, this cool crater. and we're gonna hopefully tie up to a mooring ball plant. There's 2 for recreational use. In the meantime, I discovered that our raw water circulator pump is leaking a bunch, so I think the seal on it has gone, and so that's not great, but should be able to order a rebuild kit and get it shipped to Honolulu, or hopefully it's just available there, and we'll be able to fix that up there. In the meantime, it's still working. It's just leaking a bunch of water into the engine room. Not a ton, but like a pretty steady little stream. So yeah, that's the new little development. Luckily, we just sail most of the time. So here's the raw water pump leaking. You can see all the salt that's been building up there. We'll have to rinse everything off with fresh water once we replace this, but in theory it shouldn't be that big of a deal to replace. It's just a matter of finding the parts and the seal itself, so hopefully it's not going to be a big deal to order that and get it to Hawaii here in time. But if not, Alaska will work if we can't get it here in time, because we're not going to be using the engine as we cross the ocean for the most part, but I'd really like to get this done. We're underway out of the crater here. It's a very busy spot. And we've decided to do a bit of a different route. We're gonna just continue up Maui rather than heading to another island. Given our situation with our engine, we just wanna minimize the chance of having to motor too much, and the winds look a lot steadier further up there. So that's our action plan now.
And one of my best friends from childhood is on Maui, so we might actually be able to see her, which would be really awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are cruising along, going dead downwind, and yeah, the winds have just picked up all around us, so maybe we'll get to our destination sooner than later.
Getting some pretty interesting squirrely winds, but they're a nice surprise right now. It was looking like it'd be kind of variable, but we had really steady for the most part, other than the like big 25, 30 knot gusts from behind. Coming up from the kind of southeast, I think I'm looking at. I'm a little disorientated, but it's aiming us straight for where we want to go, up in Lahaina, the city that burned down, but there's some areas that are left of the town. So looking forward to getting up there, and really pleased with this little bonus wind. Okay, we're in this crazy swirling wind area where I swear the wind is like different directions at different heights of the mast. And it's just going in circles right now, so we're just trying to figure out what's going on, trying to get past this. But pretty much what we expect in this area, to have weird variables, but we got big waves coming from behind because that southerly, easterly blowing at the moment.
We put up with the goofy winds for a while, but eventually admitted defeat and kicked the engine on. After about an hour of motor sailing, while keeping an eye on the leaking raw water pump, a nice breeze finally filled in and carried us the last few miles to Kanapali Beach. Sailing into a resort-covered bay was pretty wild. Arriving by sailboat is an entirely different experience from the way the thousands of people in the surrounding hotels got here. We were the only cruising sailboat around, which piqued the curiosity of the crew aboard a large tourist catamaran. They gave us a very warm welcome and the lowdown on the best place to anchor in this bite of a bay. As we often do, we sailed on to anchor, which was made easy by the steady breeze and moderate depths below.
We got a super warm welcome from some of the tour boat catamarans. They gave us a little down low on a good spot to anchor, and we sailed right past them. It was really fun. And then they just came by down. They're like, "You want a beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they tossed them and just missed into the dinghy. which was probably just fine because they would have blown up probably. And then I just jumped in the water and grabbed them. So, mahalo. Have you got the word? Cheers.
We didn't record much while anchored at Kanapali Beach, but we had a wonderful time spending a few days with our friends on shore. We did some snorkeling, went out for dinner, and even enjoyed a luxurious shower in our friend's hotel room.
Good morning from Kanapali Beach, just a little bit ways from Lahaina. We've had a really nice stay here. It's been quite pleasant and kind of amusing to be in front of the whole tourist show. And the winds have been very steadily blowing down the channel, but mostly have left us alone. There's been some nice gusts today. They're kind of coming over the island a bit. So it looks like we'll have a really nice sailing out in the channel, blowing us like solid 15 to 20 knots. And it should make for some pretty fast sailing down to Molokai, where we're heading next. We've got about 35 miles to cover. In the meantime, we're going to have some breakfast and go see our friends on shore who are staying in one of the resorts. And then try to leave around 9 o'clock just to give ourselves lots of time to get into the next place called Lahaina Harbor, which has a pretty confined little entrance, and we definitely don't want to be arriving there in the dark, so we'll give ourselves lots of time, but it should be good fast sailing today.
How's it going?
It's going good. There's another flying fish, big one. Yeah, it's a little lumpy bumpy out here and gusty, but we're making excellent speed. We're going like 7.5, 8 knots, so we'll be there in no time at this rate. Probably have a little more sail up than we need. Probably not even really need the main sail, but we're making do and just screaming along for now, and we'll assess as we go along. All right, things are staying kind of ramped up here, and the gusts are becoming more just like a regular wind. So we're just going to entirely drop the make. We're still going to be trucking with just the jib. Definitely overpowered right now. Ready? Okay, I'm going to pull the boom in now. Watch yourself. Alright, that already feels a little more controlled.
Whoa. Yeah.
Just put a square to it.
Oh gosh. All right, so we're out of the channel and now kind of behind Molokai. So the waves have chilled out some. There's not as much swell, but the wind is still raging. Yeah, a lot easier now having the sea state settle down just a little bit, but Trevor's still on the helm, getting his practice in since he hasn't been on the helm in a couple thousand miles. Pretty nice.
All right, we're about 1 mile out and the wind has just decided to huff up. We're going at a nice mellow pace, full sail. It's not like crazy or anything, but it's like, oh, come on, we don't need you right now, wind. We're almost there. But that's okay, we'll take it. Yeah, 1 mile to go and then we're gonna be doing this entrance, so see how everything goes.
Lahaina Harbor is an abandoned gravel port on the desolate southern shore of Molokai. What remains is a well-protected basin surrounded by human-made breakwater. The area is well charted, but the approach still felt intimidating, especially with the strong winds that had come roaring back. There's a narrow entrance channel, and just beyond it the water becomes very shallow and rocky. The guidebooks warn against attempting entry during a large southern swell, and it's easy to see why. With depths of only about 15 feet on the final approach, any significant swell could break inside the entrance, creating extremely dangerous conditions. In our case, aside from the wind, things were pretty mellow. Once inside the basin, we were rewarded with perfectly flat water and an anchorage entirely to ourselves.
Yeah!
Well, that was definitely a little exciting, but we're in here now and it's flat. It's fantastic. You got 100 feet out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anchored up. Some nice roads to walk along, and there doesn't seem to be any signs saying that we're not allowed. Some locals came by and said hello. They're just doing a little beach stay. Said that the population here is only about 7,000, so it's a really sparsely populated island. Interested to learn a bit more about Molokai.
What?
Keep doing that.
Oh, it's so hard. It's gonna take forever to get there.
Good morning from Lona Harbor. We are hitting the road bright and early. It's just about 6 right now, and we want to get out of here pretty quick because the wind in the channel is supposed to pick up around 11 o'clock, so we're going to try and get across the channel before that happens. It shows 20 gusting 30 by 11, but right now the model shows like 18 gusting 25, which is a lot more desirable. So we're going to get out of here and enjoy the sail. It's a really beautiful morning. Full moon's kind of up still, and nice little puffy clouds. There is a bit of a squally looking cloud up ahead, so maybe we'll end up getting some rain at times. We'll see. But hopefully that's gone by the time we get there.
Yeah, this is really no different than coming and going from a regular harbor. It's the difference being that there'd be buoys all along here to guide you out of the channel, but it's just fine. We have our track as well from yesterday, so that's a bonus. And we're back out into the swell after a nice little break from it. Whee! So we preemptively put the second reef in. It's bound to get windier out here, and we're going really fast still. Like, there's some current. We're going like 7 knots somehow right now. It's like there's a current whipping around the corner, and we're on a beam reef. So beautiful morning though. It's so sunny and warm. It makes us forget a little bit about the rolly anchorages here in Hawaii when it's just such nice sailing like this. The sailing's just always warm. We're never shivering. We'll save that for Alaska. Nice anchorages and a little shivery sailing at times. Still rocking a beam reach, and the seas have gotten quite a bit bigger as we're out of the lee of Molokai. But the winds are staying pretty moderate. We're still making a really nice speed, just having to deal with some of these bigger sets that are rolling through. All sunshine and rainbows. That's cool. That's really beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen a rainbow so like low to the surface.
7 miles shy of Diamond Head, and we're attempting to go wing on wing to try to make it around the point. We got some pretty big swell and waves here, so Trevor's doing a great job of trying to keep us going.
A little squirrely doing wing on wing like this with no pole out or anything, but we're just need to do it for a couple miles to get the angle to get around the point. So we'll see what we can do here.
Right in front of Waikiki Beach and Honolulu. That was a really great sail. It was, I guess, more moderate than we thought it might have been. The sea state was pretty good, and yeah, pretty fast sailing on the whole. And excited to be here now. My cousin lives here. He's doing his PhD in astrophysics or something like that. So we're gonna be able to link up with him and see some of our cruiser friends that we've been talking to since we left Mexico, but haven't actually met yet. So it'll be really nice to see them.
Heading on into the Hawaii Yacht Club, one of the couple of yacht basins here in Hawaii.
Upon arriving at the Hawaii Yacht Club, we were warmly greeted by our friend Colin, who had recently completed a solo sail from San Francisco aboard his very cozy but stout boat. The Hawaii Yacht Club was a great place to unwind and shift into project mode as we prepared for the crossing to Alaska. With so much work to do on the boat, we didn't capture much footage while in Honolulu. 5 days after arriving, Kat flew back to Bellingham and our friend Brian arrived to join the boat as crew for the next crossing. While Kat did an incredible job on the passage from Mexico to Hawaii, despite dealing with seasickness, she decided that if we could find the right person, she'd be happy to sit this leg out. Luckily for us, Brian had already expressed interest in crewing and didn't hesitate to say yes when we followed up. With a good weather window on the horizon, Brian and I focused on wrapping up the remaining maintenance, restocking supplies, and getting some rest before departing for Alaska on June 21st. While we truly enjoyed sailing in Hawaii, the reputation it has among cruising sailors turned out to hold some truth. Between the red tape, limited transient moorage, and lack of good anchorages, cruising here isn't quite as easy or relaxed as in other places we've sailed. That said, the people were incredibly friendly and the scenery was unforgettable. For us, Hawaii feels like an excellent stopover, but not a long-term destination for cruising boats. Join us in the next episode as Sea Dream of Clyde heads back across the Pacific Ocean once again. Unlike our passage from Mexico, this crossing throws everything at us. Strong trade winds, calms, thunderstorms, big seas, fog, and heavy shipping traffic. Oh, and did we mention some broken rigging 1,000 miles from shore? Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.